Hey, I'm Jay Kumar, the BassBlaster, and this is your Seafoam and Kistler rods top 5 of the week in bass fishing. Number 1. Who is this guy? And this guy? And this guy?
Who that?
Well, that's all the same guy, and that's all from this year. That guy is Bank Shaw, who is still in college at the University of North Alabama. And he's still fishing for that Bassin team. But in his free time, I guess, he did this on the MLF Invitationals this season.
That's assault. That is assault.
Yes, it is. He had 1 win. His worst finish was only a 9th. He won the Invitationals Angler of the Year by a whopping 74 points and got Rookie of the Year too. And then he finished 2nd in the Invitationals Championship. Man, that's a Jacob Wheeler-like run there, man. Did I mention it was his first year fishing the Invitationals? Banks was like,
now watch me whip, whip, watch me nay. Can you do it? Now watch me.
all right, I had a good interview with him in the BassBlaster email, which is now on BassBlaster.com. Here's maybe a few reasons for how well he fished. Number 1, if you can do well in the college fishing grind, you can do well anywhere, he thinks, competitively that is. Fishing 200 plus boat team tournaments everywhere against a bunch of good fishermen hones you. Number 2, he said college fishing completely prepares guys for the next level up. Notably their mental game, which is most of it at the higher levels, and also finding sneaky spots because they have the time to do that in college. And number 3, Banks actually likes not having to fish with forward-facing sonar all the time. So that shoots down the whole that's all the young guys are good at thing. So how will he do on the Bass Pro Tour next year? All we know for sure is
Nobody plays it like Banks.
looks that way. Number 2. You might think this is a river monster, but in bass fishing, a river monster looks like this. That's Bassmaster Elite Pro Bryan Schmitt, who just went and cherry-picked the MLF Toyota on his home water, the Potomac River. Not only that, it was his 7th Toyota level win, and 4 of them have been on the Potomac River. He also won a Toyota on the James River and won an old FLW Tour event on the Upper Mississippi River. One of his Elite Series wins is on the Upper Mississippi too. And in fact, he just finished 4th there to wind up the Elite season. So I think we can all say for sure that Bryan is a river monster. Man, I hope that's not what Bryan looks like when the moon is full. All right, anyhow, he caught him in the recent Potomac River win doing 4 things. He drop shotted a missile magic worm in a few different colors. He fished the Hayabusa Lil Schmitty swim jig he designed. He frogged a Spro Bronzeye popping frog in the albino color. And he punched up a couple with a missile D-bomb and bruiser flash. It sounds like junk fishing, and it was, but it wasn't easy, even though Bryan makes river fishing look easy, sort of like this. Yeah, like that. Number 3. Do you fish rivers?
Not unless I am too.
Exactly. Anyhow, when you and your bud fish rivers, I guarantee you don't fish them like this guy does. Or maybe you sort of do, but you haven't won like 10 major tournaments on rivers, including a Bassmaster Elite Series event. Why does Bryan Schmitt win so many river tournaments?
He's crazy.
Well, yeah, he is crazy. But that's not the whole reason.
It's junk.
Right, junk fishing. Now, if you, like me, don't have 30 plus years experience fishing rivers, dissecting current, figuring out tides and tide bites, dealing with floods and droughts and whatever else, then the junk fishing part is the part we can focus on. So I asked Bryan what baits he would be throwing this time of year on rivers, any rivers, tidal rivers, lock and dam rivers, natural rivers, whatever. Here's what he said. Number 1 is flipping and or punching a missile baits D-bomb. He uses a 3/8 to 2 ounce weight for punching and flipping heavy cover, wood cover, sparse vegetation. Braid if he's punching, and 20-pound fluoro if he's flipping. Next is a Spro Bronzeye 65 frog, and if you had to pick one color, it's albino. Now he does everything with that frog from burning it back to leaving it in place for 10 seconds before he moves it. He says you just have to experiment to find out how the fish want it that day. His number 3 bait in rivers this time of year is a swim jig. Of course, he likes the Hayabusa Lil Schmitty swim jig that he designed.
Oh, that's Schmitty! Schmitty!
With a missile shockwave or chunky D on the back. He says he likes to fish it in submerged sparse grass in 3 to 5 feet, and once again changes up his retrieves. From a straight wind, shaking it, popping it, even fishing it like a jerkbait, whatever the fish tell him how they want it. He says being a real good shallow water fisherman is key to doing well in rivers. You have to understand what cloud cover, wind, rain, everything does to fish in shallow water, because most river fish live shallow year-round and they're more affected by these weather changes. Anyhow, when you master all that and get good, you'll do what Bryan does, which is... yeah, to him, every river is a river of bass and love, man. Number 4. Is Dean Rojas the father of modern frog fishing? Or you could say he's the frog father? Of course he is, because he designed the Spro Bronzeye 65 frog, properly known as the Spro Dean Rojas Bronzeye 65 frog, and he designed that bad boy 20 plus years ago. Now you might recall that at the end of this tour level season we had 2 events that were won by guys fishing that frog, and neither guy who fished it is sponsored by Spro. Now the fact that the Bronzeye is the OG frog and more than 20 years later is still winning top level tournaments is pretty amazing. Now the guys who won those tournaments and other guys as well have said that one reason they like the Bronzeye and fish it is because it always either lands upright or flips over to be upright. Apparently way more than most other frogs do. Now Dean says that's one of the magic deals about how it's designed. And by the way, it took him and Spro over 15 months to design that frog from scratch. Anyhow, I got with Dean recently to ask him about whether certain colors of Spro frogs really are softer and a few other things. Here's a few tips from him. Number 1, Dean says that because of how the colors are applied to the soft plastic, some frogs can be harder than others initially. He says the more you fish them and the more times they hit the water and stuff like seawalls, the softer they get and the better they get. Number 2, you probably know that bending your hooks out helps your hookups.
I'm looking for a hookup.
Yeah, right. Dean likes it when you run your finger over the back of the frog without pressing down and you feel the hook points. If you don't, bend them out till you do. Number 3, fish braid. That might sound like a duh, but he said you'd be surprised at the number of people who fish mono or fluoro with frogs. And last but not least, since frogs are pretty much weedless unless you bend your hooks out too much, he says to chuck them where you'd be afraid to fish anything else. And that also means ultra shallow, like 6 inches of water. He said to throw it where you don't think one would ever be and get ready to be surprised, man. I've also fished with Dean a couple times, and I can tell you that he fishes frogs just about anywhere, including open water. All right, there's your frog tips from the master. Yeah, master of frogs getting pulled with strings. A quick note, unfortunately, all of Dean's frog talk over the years has caused him to come under surveillance. All right, number 5.
The circus. Freak show.
Yes, it was in Tennessee. First, this fish was posted on Facebook. Then it came to light a week or so earlier that this fish was caught out of the same lake, Cordell Hull Reservoir. Then a BassBlaster email reader sent me this pic. He caught that fish 2 years ago on the Cumberland River in downtown Nashville. And yep, that is the same river that forms Cordell Hull Reservoir. So if it was just the first 2 pics, I would have said it was the same fish, just a super freak. But with that older pic where the fish is bigger than the 2 most recent orange fish, Maybe there's a
conspiracy.
Yeah, maybe Vols fans are dunking these fish in orange spike it to do something
Conspiratorial.
Exactly. Either way,
It's a little fishy.
haha, yes it is. It's an orange little fishy, or maybe 3. All right, that's all I got for you this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Seafoam and Kistler Rods. See you next week. God bless you.